Good morning, and welcome. I'm Brenda Perryman here sitting in for Richard Hairston again, hoping Richard gets well. I have an announcement though for those of you who may not know. City Councilman Titus McClary passed away on Saturday. I don't know any details, but I know it was sudden. And my wishes go out to his family here, his family in South Carolina. Great man, great man. Titus McClary passed away Saturday. He will be missed. He will be missed. And now, as I go on with my show, I have a special guest in the studio this morning. She's really special. She's the author of the book, The Bounce Back. This is Tiffany Rose. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good
How
morning.
are
I'm
you?
great. I'm
You look
great.
so great to be a survivor in this book.
Oh, thank you. Thank
I
you.
mean, really, I thought I'd been through some things.
Oh.
No, but it just tells you the resilience
Oh,
of
yes.
women. And when
Yes.
you put your mind to it and a
Hmm.
mind to surviving
Yes,
and
yes.
all.
Yes.
Tiffany, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, a survivor of many things. I've been molested, I've been raped, I've lived a life of crime, went to prison, had breast cancer. I think if you name it, I think I've been through it.
You think you've done it. Now, how's your daughter?
My daughter is great. My daughter, it's a story behind my daughter. I was a young teenage mother,
Right.
and I was going to get an abortion. And my mother was very sick, and she just said, "No, we're not going to do that." And sure enough, I ended up having my daughter months later. And sure enough, my mother passed away at like when my daughter was 4 months. And now my daughter is well on her way to grossing $1 million this year with her own hair company and
Stop.
salon. Yes.
Oh,
So what if I had
really?
aborted her?
I
Yeah.
know.
So it's just a blessing. She's truly a blessing. Yes.
Really.
Yes.
I mean, I want to go back a little. I don't want to tell everything
I
that's in
know.
this book, but everybody, after I finished reading as much as I could over the weekend, because I just got it over the weekend, I was out of breath. I said, my God, what is next? What
I
is next?
know. I know.
Um, like you said, she had cancer.
Uh-huh.
It was
Yes.
stage three.
Stage 3B. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
what does that mean?
Pretty much it's getting ready to approach 4. So I knew that when they first told me it was 1, but that was really before they were just going by the size of the actual lump. But once they started running other tests, they, you know, end up seeing that it was stage 3B and it spread.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
you started off on the west side of Detroit, didn't you?
Yes,
The
yes,
west
yes,
side.
yes, I
West
did.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot
hey.
of it's from
Yes,
the west
yes,
side. And
yes.
you started off, your life was kind of good as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
child.
As a child, I was a decent kid. I just didn't start cutting up until I got grown.
Well, when we start growing
Yeah,
up, we think we're
yeah.
bigger than the game.
Yes,
And we find out
exactly.
nobody's bigger than the game.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
I always used to think I was smarter than my mother.
Oh yeah, me
I
too.
just knew I was smarter than my mother, but
Yes, me too.
golly, I found out I couldn't beat the beater.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right,
So
right.
you started off over there with you had a stepfather.
Yes, I had a stepfather. He was really great to us. Just anything you can imagine from a real magical fairy tale father, that was him. And he ended up passing away. We came home from church and we found him
Right,
dead,
right.
and from a heart attack. And it seemed like once he passed away, it seemed like it was just a trickle down effect of a lot of things.
Spiraling.
Yeah.
Because your brother had gotten involved with Young Boys Incorporated.
Yes. And he was like really heavy into that. And it was just a lot of drama and just I don't want to tell everything.
No,
But yeah,
no, I don't.
it was a a lot of drama.
And then
Um,
you and your sister had a strained relationship. Now
yes,
there was
yes.
a an age gap.
Yeah, my brother is 11 years older than I am, and my sister is 10 years older than I am. So it was a pretty
You all
big
had
age
different
gap.
fathers.
Yeah, my sister and my brother had the same dad, and I had a different father.
Did
So
you know
yeah,
your father?
no. No, I still don't. I actually I had a cousin that passed this Friday, and I was talking to some relatives that are would be like my mother's age if my mother was still living, and they said I don't know where he is. He might be dead, or So it was a lot of information I didn't get from my mother because she had passed away. So
Right,
yeah,
right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Tiffany, you've been through a lot. You
Mhm.
went from the west side to
To the east
Redford
side.
to the
Mhm.
east
Mhm.
side.
Mhm.
East
Yes.
side?
Yeah.
And
Right.
but you have amassed so many
Uh
followers
huh.
on, like I told you, my daughter says she follows you on Instagram. And I said, is she taking that many pictures?
Right,
So
right,
yesterday
right.
I
And you
said, let me,
saw like, oh Lord.
yeah, but I said, let me follow because I saw people. I said,
Uh-huh.
of course, I know Patty Turner and
Yes, yes,
Nortrice
yes,
very
yes,
well.
yes.
And, but tell me, what made you decide to write the book?
Well, truly, I had got calling out for an interview during breast cancer awareness last month, and I did some different interviews and things of that nature, and just talking to different people, and I was just we kind of got out of the breast cancer thing, and we were just talking about just survival of life. And
You had something to
yes,
tell them,
yes.
didn't you?
So I do have a PR, and she was with me, and she told me she was in LA actually at the time when I was in like different trouble and things like that, and I was just telling her different situations that
Wait
went
a
on.
minute. Okay. You said your PR person,
Yes, uh huh.
she was in LA.
Yeah, she was in LA at the time when I was going through different things in my life.
Okay.
So she didn't even
Well,
know.
so was she the a PR person then or just a friend?
She was just my friend at first. I've been knowing her for like 25 years. So she was just my friend at first. And just talking to me, just listening to my story, she was like, "You need to write a book." I'm like, I don't want to write no book. I just want to form a foundation,
Right.
help women that don't have insurance, can't get mammograms, things like that's all I wanted to do. But this book was truly, I would say, therapeutic for me.
You are lucky to be alive.
Yes, I
You are
am.
lucky to be alive.
Yes.
And the circumstances, one thing I know that you have to talk upon is the fact of women bringing men into the house and them
Mm-hmm.
having daughters
Yes.
and what
Yes.
can happen
Oh,
and
yes.
what has
Yes.
happened. I remember one day, as I taught, and my students, my advanced
Mm-hmm.
acting class, and I, we were talking about situations, social issues.
Yes.
Girls started bringing up things, my
Oh,
mother's boyfriend, this and that,
yes. Yes.
and
Oh, yeah.
so many of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then the whole thing was, my mother didn't believe me.
Wow.
That was they were saying my mother didn't believe
Yeah. So you
me.
know what I wrote in the book, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, you had somebody across the street,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and this, I mean, such a coward, such a. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote a monologue, and I
Uh-huh.
should have brought it, and you would have
Uh-huh.
got. It's called
Oh.
"Call Me Man,"
Oh, wow.
and it's about a situation
Mm-hmm.
so much like yours
Okay.
that,
Okay.
in fact, the monologue is part of a bigger play that's being done across the country
Yeah. Yeah.
on that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But that's something. So did that kind of give you a heads up?
I think so. Yeah. I was just one of those ones that when that did happen to me, I thank God that my mother was supportive. I had a lot of friends that had been raped, molested, and their mother called them everything under the sun.
Yes, yes.
So,
What
just
is it
to,
that a woman wants to keep a man so bad that she'd turn against her own child?
yeah, yeah, a lot of times what I've learned, I did see a psychiatrist at one time, but
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I did.
No, no, but there's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that
yeah, yeah.
because a lot of times we as black people have this stigma
Oh,
associated
I'm
with
not
it.
going to see a
No, I
psychiatrist.
believe
Yeah.
in it.
But yeah, it helped me, and it helped me understand why I was the way I was, why I did what I did, what was holding me back, what was keeping me in my pain suppressed. I can keep a smile on my face and let you know like, "Oh, I'm okay," but I had a lot of pain, inside, and
Yes.
this book really helped me. So,
The
yeah.
word is catharsis.
Yes,
Catharsis.
yes, yes.
And I mean, you went into a life of
Oh,
crime.
yeah.
I mean, I mean,
Yes, why, Lord?
we laugh now,
Yes, yes,
but
yes,
I mean,
yes.
it was unbelievable
Oh
when I said,
gosh, yeah,
"What?" But
yeah,
you wanted better things, and you
yeah,
thought that
yeah.
was
And learning through that session when I was seeing an actual psychiatrist, he actually pulled something out of me that after my stepfather passed away, that we lived great. But once he passed away, the money went away, the cars went away, the house went away, and things of that nature. So we end up becoming poor again. My mother was on welfare, this, that, and the other. I was starting to wear repeated clothing. And that was a
you mean
trigger.
hand
Just
me down.
hand me downs. Just, I may have had like two outfits and wore it to school and tried to switch it up with like maybe like a different top or something like that. And it set off a trigger for me that's why I have so many clothes. It's like, okay, I don't want to wear the same thing
Well, the
over and over
comedian
again.
the one who died, Joan
Joan
Rivers.
Rivers. Mm-hmm.
Joan Rivers said she bought two of everything
Uh-huh.
because she had been so
So
poor
poor.
that
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to make sure she had two of everything.
Yes,
She had so
yes. Oh
much
yeah.
for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you believed that you had to have.
I believed it was crazy. I would prefer to see the clothing in my closet than to see the money in the bank.
Well, there are a lot of people who do that
Yeah.
now. I mean that check.
But I lived a life of crime to
Yeah.
obtain all that,
So
so yeah.
um, you went to what? How old were you the first time you were caught, or
Um 19. 19.
did you get a
Um
warning, or
yeah, it was probation, a fine. Then after that, I'm like, oh, I got away with it that time. Let me do it again, and it just led up to that, led up to that, to where now on my record right now I have 5 felonies. Yes, 5 felonies.
but you have rehab and
Yes.
all of that. But what did it? What did? Who
Yes.
took care of your baby?
When I went to prison, I was married at the time, and
Uh-huh.
my mother-in-law Annette and her mother took care of Miss Baltimore. Hi, Miss Baltimore, and they took care of the boys for me. My daughter was with them at the time, but that wasn't my husband's child. So my sister Lisa, hi Lisa, she took my
Oh,
daughter in.
Lisa.
Lisa,
Yeah,
yeah, Lisa,
yeah,
and
Lisa.
Tiki, the one. I don't know if you got to Tiki's part yet, but my best friend Tiki, she actually named the book. Actually, I didn't know it was going to be a book, but it was a quote that she had said to me, and it just stuck with me. But my best friend Tiki, she passed away in
Oh,
2014 from a massive heart attack, and she took care of my daughter. Her and my sister did. Lisa,
wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause Lisa was your next door
Yeah, she was my next
neighbor.
door
Oh, this it was so
neighbor.
good of her. I mean,
Oh
she
my
was just an
God, I love. Oh,
angel.
I don't even want to talk about her. I get emotional.
I mean,
Yeah.
because to be able to find someone who kind of almost takes you
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just to talk
I
about her
just,
is great.
I
Yeah.
know, I know.
Uh,
I miss everything.
she's gonna be like, Tiffany, why are you crying? When she
No, but
sees it.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
that. I can understand that. And she probably, too, in many ways, was your conscience
Yeah.
sometimes, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
You'd
Because she
hear
worked
her,
for the Oakland. She works still does work for the Oakland County Sheriff's Department.
oh,
So
okay.
just
Oh, my
imagine the
goodness.
embarrassment
Oh, my.
of her little sister coming through
Oh,
jail.
we have a call. We have
uh,
a call. Let me make sure. Good morning. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
I cannot hardly hear you.
Oh,
Uh,
uh,
the,
can you hear
but
me?
This is Tyrone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
I would like to ask your guest. At 19, when she was started down the crime road, what year was that?
uh, oh gosh, that had to be 1995.
19. What year
1995.
was that? I
90,
can't hear you.
95.
95.
Yes.
I just why I asked you that question is because of the reason a lot of people was poor is 1995 we had lost 80% of our manufacturing that moved out of the city, 83% of the wholesale that moved out of the city, and 84% of the retailers moved out of the city. That was because of the policy that was suburbanization that a lot of people went into crime. I just want to make it tied up with the policy to move things out of the city. It wasn't that a person was just innately bad.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now.
Thank
Okay,
you.
goodbye. Now, as far as you said, Lisa was very was embarrassed.
Well, no, she wasn't. I've always thought she was, but she never judged me. She trust me as being a sister, she would talk to me and things like that. But I don't know if she was embarrassed,
Oh, right.
but
But you were.
I was. Yes.
Your mom.
Yeah.
I just fell in love with your mother. I fell in love with your mother. She
Yes.
tell the audience what kind of ailments she had.
Oh, my mother had a brain tumor at one time. They did not, when she went in to have surgery for it, it was like it went away.
She
She
was
thought
very
very
religious.
religious. She hollered and said that was nobody but God that took my tumor away. The doctors didn't even understand it. They like it's there. We got to get it. Just praising God all the time, just talking to God. I never understood why she was praising this person that we don't even see. And just a really religious and spiritual woman, Bible thumper, can tell you anything from the Bible, went to church, just really a sweet woman. And she, after the tumor, she still ended up having different ailments with seizures, and she had breast
Yes,
cancer
yes.
twice. And the seizures would get so bad to where we could be sitting here talking and she could just go into having a seizure, and if you don't like catch her, she could hit her head on this hard mic right here and hurt herself. and
Wow.
and you can't stop it. It's just the shakes, and you have to kind of watch their mouth because they can bite down on their
Tongue.
tongue, and
Yeah.
she did that a lot too as well. So just to see that, and just to see, and she would not remember anything when she came
Right.
out of it. So,
Right.
and then to have breast cancer,
And
and
that had to
yeah.
scare you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just to come home, just like when I came home from school and found her. A lot of times she would be laid out on the floor or laid in the bathroom. She can just go to the bathroom just to use the restroom, and she'd be passed out from having a seizure. So
Well,
yeah.
she was a very strong
Oh
woman.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
strong woman.
Yes,
And
yes.
you're the one who discovered her, didn't you?
Yes, yes, yes. My mother, she dealt with the seizures. So really she ended up how it's read on her death certificate, she did have a massive seizure, but from complications with breast cancer. So she had breast cancer in one breast. She had that removed. And months later, almost a year later, they end up coming back telling her that she had breast cancer in the other breast. And I think my mother had gotten to the point where, even though I know she loved and trusts God, she just still was like, I don't even want them cutting on me
I'm
anymore.
tired.
I'm
I'm
tired,
tired.
So, yeah.
Now, another big part of your book were the men in your life.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Oh, why are we
Oh,
laughing, everybody? No. I mean,
woo, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think even though well, Glenn G is a ex drug dealer, but God sent three men from the streets to, I think God sent these particular people in my life, and they helped me in a time. Everybody say God does things in time and in season,
yes.
and I really think that's what God placed in my life at the time. One, helped me get on my feet. Another one pretty much helped me get on my feet, and another one helped me get on my feet. But it was in times that I needed.
And
Yeah.
there were the people that you had tried to help get on their feet.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
we do as women
yeah,
sometimes. Yeah,
yeah,
we do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I mean, tell us how the book is doing.
Oh, it's doing well. It's wow. It's doing well. Okay, to explain this properly, okay, on Amazon, it's 9,000 products called the Bounce Back something something or Bounce Back something.
Okay.
9,000 products. My particular book, my product is the top selling on Amazon right now.
Isn't that something, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen?
yeah. It's top
This is
selling.
a woman with a story.
Yeah.
I mean, the book, you can't really put it down. I'm going to be honest to you.
Uh,
I mean,
and it's good to hear that from someone that's not my family.
right. I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't help it.
Yeah.
I was looking. I said, let me look. I started to almost read a paragraph here and there.
Uh-huh.
Um, but one thing about it, it says this about your mother.
Mhm.
And after one of the adventures, it says, my mother was a great mother to us. She was just physically sick and may not have picked up on things that were going on in our lives because of that. I don't blame God for anything. I don't really blame my mother. I never will. God has His way of using everything that has gone on in my life. Everything has a purpose and His plan, according to His plan. I didn't know that then, but I truly know it now. God is the keeper of my mind, body, and soul. You have learned that
Mhm.
through bouncing back
Oh yeah.
every time. It's so funny. You know what this reminds me of? When I retired from teaching,
Mhm.
they had a little retirement luncheon.
Mhm.
And my son got up. My son played basketball,
Yeah.
and he was a rebounder.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that he led the country in rebounding at one time when he was
Mhm.
in college. And he
Yes.
got up and said, "Yeah, they said I was pretty good at rebounding." And I think it was because I watched my mother rebound from so many
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think our children are stronger
Oh
for it.
yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
us about your
Oh,
children.
my children. Okay. Let me get myself together. I'm not gonna
Okay.
cry. But my daughter, for one, oh, mm, such an angel on earth. You talking about a child that my family says she cried as a child, but I can't remember. But a child that never even cried as a baby,
Wow.
or just never, she just never gave me the terrible tools. She never gave me a problem in school. She was a straight A student, and she was just a all around, just a good child, you know. And went off to college, went to Michigan State, and I ended up finding out I had breast cancer. That baby right there gave up her college life to come home, take care of me. She had started her online business at school. And when she started her online hair business, it, you know, it was just something she was just playing around with. She was making wigs and things like that already, but she was just playing around with it. By the time I end up getting cancer, she took care of everything. She was making enough money to where I couldn't work, she was doing it. She paid the mortgage. She paid, for other bills. She paid for the groceries. I had G at the time. I had Glenn at the time. But he was dealing with his own,
Issues.
issues about how I was feeling. He couldn't really take me being sick. So it kind of put a strain on our relationship. As you read the book, it put a strain on our relationship, and it made G not be around because he couldn't take it, but it made me and Tiana and I closer. And just the things that she did financially for me, and taking care of her brothers, and taking them places, like still keeping my boys active when their mother is laying up in the bed, bald, sick from chemo, and just a lot of pain. So just the gratitude that I give her for giving up her life is something I could never repay her. Never.
Tell the audience about her business.
Oh, how that came about. Like I said, she was a student in college, pre-med, and she would just, be, she never had to call home for money. I tell you that. She never had to call home for money. She started making wigs just as a hobby, and it, was slow. When I found out I had cancer in 2014, she made my first wig. And
Wow.
even though I had told everybody I was sick, and they even saw me bald, then the next picture they see on social media is I have hair. So they're like, that can't be your hair, you know? And I'm the type of person, I switch my hair all the time. So here comes another wig, and then here comes another and another. And people couldn't believe
And
that
she
they were
made
wigs,
them?
and she made them.
Oh my
People could not believe that they were wigs, and it blew up from there. Yeah.
God. And so she
And
has,
she still has her online business. Now she has a brick and mortar store, that's actually a
where
salon
is
too.
it located?
It's 29193 Northwestern Highway, in the Franklin Plaza. It's called the Alan Michael Experience, and that's named after my autistic son. It's just so much that
Oh, that is so good.
yeah, it's so
Well,
good.
tell us
Yes.
how we could get the book on Amazon, other
Yes.
ways.
Yes. It'll be nationwide. It will be nationwide. Yeah, it'll be nationwide in like another 2 weeks. And then it's at the Alan Michael Experience as well, 29193 Northwestern Highway. You can order it on Amazon.com. Press the bounce back, Tiffany Peak.
Oh,
Tiffany Rose. I just
okay.
used Tiffany Rose, my first and middle name, and then it's at our church too as well. Second Ebenezer Church, 14601 DeQuinder.
Right.
Bishop Edgar Van is our bishop, and
Sheila
it's in the
Van
bookstore.
was my student, I think, a
Yes.
long time ago.
Okay. Okay.
150 years ago.
Oh no, she's gonna
No,
kill you if you say
no,
that.
I'm the
No, for
one.
you.
Yeah, I'm the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
yes.
This is just so fantastic.
Thank you.
So
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank
Everybody,
you.
you can't put it down. I'm telling you right
Oh,
now. The
thank you.
bounce back and Do you have any more book signings coming up?
Yes, I'm actually next month. We just got called out. Oh, my PR is gonna kill me for this, but I'm supposed to be a speaker at MegaFest at TD Jakes MegaFest next
Wow.
month. They're trying to get the staging and everything together because their main stage is already booked up. So they have other stages that will be
Right,
there as
right.
well, and I'll be selling my book there in Texas, and just taking it from there. Just whatever comes, I'm there.
Tiffany, I'm so glad I can meet
Oh,
you.
thank you,
Even
thank
though I
you.
feel I got to know you because this
Oh,
book is so blunt.
oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
very blunt. You
yes.
you feel what she feels, you see what she sees. You almost understand her life of crime.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you definitely, and what I will say is like what I say on the book. It says I never question the obstacles in my life, but what I do know is God was always my bounce back.
Always.
And that was just something that just even going through life, that's why I say throughout the book I didn't know he was covering me then like I know now. So I just told him, just save my life one more time and I'll serve him till the day I
Well, I'm sure
die.
people will, you'll get a lot of
Yes,
speaking engagements and
yes,
all of that from
yes,
this.
yes.
And I wish you the best.
Thank
You're a
you.
survivor. God helps you survive so that you can do his
Oh,
work,
yes, yes, I
really.
believe so. Yeah.
I'm a firm
Oh,
believer in it.
yes, I believe it.
So we'll be back in just a moment. You know, it's May and it's time for the Michigan Week Parade here in Highland Park. And Highland Park has had this parade for a
Ever,
lot of years.
ever.
And I'll be back in just a moment with Sydney Spot. I am back. I am back with one of my favorite people, another a Highland Parker, Sydney Spite, and he's a heck of a Highland Parker too. Good morning, Sydney.
Good morning.
So you're here to talk about the parade, right?
Yes, yes. 94th annual Michigan Week Parade.
94.
94. Well, next year the city will be, and this is a good birthday, will be 100 years old.
Highland Park will be 100.
100 years
We
old
got to
next year.
celebrate all year.
That's going to see, we're building this up for next year.
Uh-huh.
And this year is supposed to be really big. We have at least about 5 bands, a lot of hosts, a lot of merchants from the city is finally getting in. Fadeaway Barbershop, they're making a big polar bear, and they're going to put it on
Really?
Mr. Petway's truck, and they're going to pull it down.
Mr. Petway.
Carl Petway Jr.
Oh, Junior. Okay,
Yeah,
I
he's
had
still Mr. Petway. He
Oh,
looks just like his dad, too,
oh,
now.
does he?
Oh, my God,
Mr.
he looks just like
Petway.
Mr.
Oh, I
Petway.
love Mr. Petway.
Yes, yes. And some of the block clubs are getting involved. A lot of the block clubs are marching. They're bringing banners. And a lot of it, since we don't have a school anymore, well, that's not standing. Highland Park spirit and pride is so strong. A lot of the classes are marching, and they're going to represent who they are.
Oh, that's wonderful. What about Titus McClary? Wasn't that
Oh,
so
my
sad?
goodness. I was told that the other day he passed.
Yeah.
And it was touching because I go to the city council meetings, and me and him are really, really good friends. I'm good friends with the family.
Right.
And last month he had on a beautiful leather vest, and I said, "Man, that's a sharp vest." He said, "What size is it?" I said, "It's a large. It looks about my size." He said, "You're right. You can have it." And he took his jacket off and he unbuttoned it. And my sister's like, "Don't take that man's jacket." I'm like, "He's offering me a gift." And I have it, and I was blessed to get it, and it was like meant for me to have it. It's really sharp. It's leather, hand stitched. It's real sharp, and I'm gonna hold that to my heart because he was a very smart and intelligent man, and I feel for the council because when you see when they're talking about certain issues, that man knows parliamentary procedure. He
Right,
knows what
right.
needs to be done and the right way to do it, and he's gonna be missed.
He's really going to be
Yes, he
missed.
is.
And the funny thing is, I found out, I mean, I've known him forever. And you know Miss Macbeth, or
Hmm.
Lillian, his sister used to work in the book room.
Right.
And we worked together. And then years later, I found out me and Titus were born in the same little town.
Really?
I mean, it's that big in South Carolina. We find that out later. And he never lost his accent, though. and
He has an accent almost like he's British or something.
well, no, what happens?
It's very
That's part of that South Carolina
really.
thing. My brother, he talks a little slower, but he talks like that. When they go to New York, a lot of South Carolinians go to New York. It almost sounds like a patois, like
Hmm.
the Jamaicans
Hmm.
talking fast
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind of cut off some of the words. And it ends up someone in his family married into somebody in my family.
Really.
So we found out, and so one year they invited me to a
And ended up
family
in Highland
reunion.
Park.
Ended up
Highland
everybody,
Park is everywhere. Everybody ends up in Highland Park.
everybody ends up in Highland Park.
Right. Right.
So Sydney, I mean, since you are so devoted to Highland Park that you have uh, led cleanups in Highland Park and so
Yes.
forth.
Cleanups. When I found out my school wasn't doing too well, uh, I talked to Dr. Carter. He's rest his soul.
Yeah.
Uh, he gave me permission to have a cleanup party. So I brought my class of '84, and we went to the high school. He allowed us to go in and tour the high school, and when we toured the high school, it was such a shamble. I just couldn't believe this was the school that I went to, and things happen like this. It was almost like lean on me. I couldn't believe this, so I said, I need to have a cleanup. So I got together Crystal Isaac and Mr. Priest and Angela Priest and
Right,
we sit
right.
and Todd Gatewood. We all sat down and we hashed some things out and we hosted a party. I have a lawn service, resurrection lawn service, and we went to the high school and I brought my equipment and I asked all parkers to come if they have lawnmowers, weed whackers, brooms, rakes, bring it, and we're gonna barbecue. And the funny thing, the guys who I won't say went for bad back in the day, they were pretty tough.
Yeah.
They
Well,
showed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, these guys showed up in their new lives. They're adults now. They're fathers and mothers, and they barbecued. It was wild seeing the ones that took care of us. They gave us the food. They bought the food, and we had a big party. Big party.
Wow. You know, there's something about Highland Park. There is something that a lot of people, if you haven't experienced it,
You can't explain it.
you can't explain
You
it.
can't explain it. At the store I work at, my parkers come in and they stop at the door and they can't see me, they yell, "HP, HP," and then I throw my hand up and they say, "Okay, see, it's over in the corner." You know.
Right, absolutely. I mean, in fact, my family comes in to see you
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
and but Sydney, I remember. Well, I student taught in Highland Park. I was junior in high school, in college. I student taught here, and it was at the old high
How
school,
many years ago you said?
150.
150. Right.
And I was young. I was young, and after I finished student teaching, I said, "This is the district I want to work in." And my contract for Highland Park and Detroit came the same day. And do you know that I said Highland Park all the way? I There was something about the city and the people.
It's. Woo, my mom moved here 50 years ago, and I'm 50. So
You
this
50?
I'm 50.
Oh Lord,
I'm kind of old looking, man.
my students are old. No, I'm just kidding.
But the house that we moved into, we had a birthday party when I turned 50 for me and the house, and it's 50. And we threw this big 50th birthday party for the family. The entire family came. It was wild. People came in from out of town. I really was blessed to see those that showed up. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, I've been with Holland Park for 50 years, you know. So when mom passed, my sister was like, we're gonna get this house up and going. We're gonna renovate it. We're going to do some things that we wanted to do, that Mom wanted to do, and
And I
couldn't.
love your sisters, by the way. So.
Yeah, Janet and Joyce, which is Nzinga and Janet.
Right. And Zinga, she came. I did a thing at the museum, and she was there.
Yeah. So we renovated the house, and I said, well, I got to get more in touch with my city. So I started going to the council meetings. So I go to every council meeting, every second Monday of the month, and the stuff that I bring and the stuff that I'm hearing, the city is reforming. They're starting to do a TIFA has come in, and they're starting to
What's that?
revitalize. Well, it's an organization that's going to rebuild the city, and they're starting this year. The plans is already written down. I think things were going on behind the scenes before they launched it. I went to an event that TIFA they put out, and the things they're gonna do is really really exciting. They have a pop up theater. It's gonna happen behind the
What?
fire station.
What?
Pop up theater. They're gonna have things like vegetable stands and just all kind of stuff. Maybe you could do some of your spoken words and the things you do
Wow. And I do theater.
in
That's
theater.
theater.
Yes,
That's what I'm
yes. I
talking
mean, they're
about.
really. It's almost looking like a oak, I want to say Ferndale / Royal Oak type of thing. They got the bike trails coming. They're
Wow.
gonna take the lanes to Woodward to 2 lanes when you come from the lodge to Manchester. So it's all going to happen from Manchester to the lodge. They're going to reform that area. Your area
Really?
is being reformed. Yes, Victor is in that plan. You'll see it coming.
Wow.
You'll see it coming. It's going to be very
Well,
nice.
this is the place to be.
Yeah.
Now, for the parade, what is the date? And
The date for the parade is May 20th. It's very, very short away. It's next week, matter of fact. So it's a whole weekend of events. The parade, the breakfast is Friday for seniors. The parade is Saturday. It's going to start at 12 o'clock. We're going to line up at 8 because we have so many events that's going to march and do things. And we're going to end up at Sears Street, which we used to end up at the high school, but we have
right.
no longer the high school. So we're going to cut down Sears Street. That's when it's going to disperse, and we're going to walk over to the Hackett Field, Reggie McKenzie Center, and that's when we're going to have bounce arounds and
Yeah,
dunk
that's what I was
tanks
going to ask you after
and
the parade.
all
What
kind
do
of
we do?
events, all kind of events going on after the parade. It's going to be bounce arounds, and we have a band shell, and Sunday is going to be really big. We have a gospel rama, gospel events, a group from Holland Park called Seriously. I don't know if you're familiar. They went to Holland Park.
Who,
Ronald Lee, Reggie Lee.
Right.
Those brothers are gonna perform at 3 o'clock. It's gonna be. They're flying in. Ronald's flying in for this. When I
Oh,
asked them,
wow.
they could not wait for Holland Park to ask them for something, and they get a chance to do their thing. They've been doing learn how to play instruments in Holland Park. We all did. I played the trumpet.
Right.
And they're gonna perform. We have another one performing. We have a gospel rap group performing. It's gonna be really, really nice. My nephew, Valitical, I think that's the name of it. His gospel rap group. It's gonna be very nice.
So, any of these things, are you going to have vendors or anything?
We're gonna have vendors. We're gonna have vendors. We're gonna have
What if
clowns.
somebody still wants to be a vendor?
Well, we still have a shot at being a vendor. Give me a call if you can at 248-228-6369. And just tell me what you want to do. If you're gonna do food, you need a food handling license. You got to get that from the state, and also you have to pay $75 for the vendor's license, for the vendor spot. That's $75, and that's for 2 days. That
Oh, that's
75
good.
for 2 days. Yeah.
Where would they set up?
Well, we have tables available as well as chairs. You're going to set up at the Hackett Field House. It should be real nice.
I love
Try
it.
to be creative with what you're going to do because you don't want to be next to someone selling hamburgers if they're selling hamburgers or selling purses if they're selling purses. You want to be creative and try to make your money.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you can. A lot of people come out for this, and I'm forecasting great weather.
Yes, it's going to be beautiful.
You know, we deserve it and all. And so I think there should be some kind of tribute to Titus.
Yeah, yeah. It was such a short notice.
Yeah, yeah.
Something has to happen. I mean, he was just like a icon in the city.
Icon.
I mean, he used to be our mayor.
I know.
Yeah, and he went from there being president of the council, and yeah, he was
He's
everything.
always been involved.
Yeah, and
Always,
he's
always.
very knowledgeable of the things that needs to be done and who to talk to and what to be said to those that need to be talked to. He's the one. He is the one.
So the parade starts at
8 o'clock. It starts at 12. The lineup is very important. If you're going to be an event for the parade, you need to be there at 8 o'clock so we can set you in your spot. So when we go down Tennyson, we're going to start at Tennyson to Sears Street,
Tennyson and what?
Tennyson and Oakman.
Oakland.
Oakland, excuse me. And we're going to line up there and go down Tennyson. Matter of fact, Tennyson Street is marching as well. They're going to do their big banner and do their thing, which is really good. That's a first for them. So we're going to line up. And with the lineup, we want to put you in your spot accordingly. You know, the bands have to be in a certain spot. We have horses. You definitely want them in a certain spot.
Definitely.
You know, and we have kids that's going to dress up like clowns. We have football teams that's in Highland Park. The Jets, they're going to do their thing. I mean, it's just such a host of people. I got a chance. I hope they show up. The Tuskegee Airmen,
Oh, wow.
they put in an application. I really hope they show up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Well, you heard it here. Highland Park, Michigan Week Parade. It's always a big thing.
Oh, one other thing is going on. A friend of mine is having right after that. It's gonna start at 12 to 2:30. It's gonna be a annual Detroit area kid fishing derby, and that's something else that we take Palmer Park as Highland Park's park.
We do.
Yeah, that's our part.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a fishing derby. So when you get through with the parade, take your kids down there and teach them how to fish. They're going to supply everything.
Really?
And they're going to stock the pond. And a lot of people say, is it watering? There's water. If you're a Parker, you know that's a creek in Palmer Park. And they're going to stock it with fish. And you can enjoy your kid learning how to fish and give them something other than playing video games to do.
Oh, absolutely. It's good to learn how to fish. It's good to fish is good.
Fish is good.
Uh-huh.
If you're fishing in the right area or eating the right fish.
Right. That's true. You know, tilapia is not a good fish.
That's what they say.
No.
No, it's
not,
sway.
it's not nutritional.
It's a
fish.
man-made fish.
Yeah.
It's chemically made.
And
in
so
a,
I don't touch tilapia.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's another. So we gotta go. Everybody, this Friday will be a rerun. I will not be available this Friday for my shows. So I will see you next week.
And I just want to say I love you, Miss Berryman, and thanks for all your support.
I love you too, Henry. I love Highland Park. I'll see you next week.